Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. 15 good minutes. This is Coach B. JR, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Just you know, enjoying this nice weather. Always about weather. It's getting a little
It
warmer
is with
now.
you. It is with you. We know you secretly wanted to be a meteorologist, man, because we appreciate the good weather reports week to week. Freddie, what's happening, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Doing good,
I
man.
want to get you guys' opinion on what I consider stories within the playoffs, right? Some things that I've seen, and now I'm curious to get your opinion. The first one, and I'll start with you, Freddie, is relative to the Phoenix Suns. Um, did their, and I don't want to call it an experiment, did their effort to put together the super team, was that a bust? Was that a failure? And do you, like a lot of media people, see it as a problem to come based on the amount of time they still left on their contracts?
Yeah, I view it as a failure.
What
I,
part?
I view it as a failure. Um, and this is just my opinion. I view it as a failure because you didn't need. You had Devin Booker, then you had Kevin Durant. You didn't need to add um Bradley Beal, right? You didn't need to add him. I think by adding Bradley Beal, you took away your ability to fill out the roster.
That was the risk, right? That's
That was the risk. And mind
yes.
you, when Bradley Beal has an injury history, right? Great player, but he has an injury history. And so for this particular season, it was a failure because when you got Kevin Durant, who's 35, 36, Bradley Beal is 30, Booker is 27, 28, yada, yada. I think that it was a failure because that was, I mean, obviously, when you do these things, the expectation is a championship. If you get to the conference
Championship or
final,
bust.
second round, all right, cool, whatever. But you do not expect to go out. They got swept in the first, right?
Yeah.
Right. That is not the expectation that you get swept in the first round.
Yeah, same thing. Phoenix,
Yeah.
bust or
Uh,
you see some potential in them still?
no, there's always potential, but I think Freddie's right about them not needing Beal. You're taking on older players, and I understand the object is to win a championship this year, right? But the injuries, like Freddie said, and you can't put you. I don't think as a professional team you can give up your draft picks for that long. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys are already old. They don't have. I see what you're talking about, Freddie, and his slowing up. I noticed he's admiring young players. You know what I'm saying? So the old Kevin wouldn't be doing that. You find out after he leave the league. You know, I feel that way. So I think that they could have just they just I think building with your younger players, and I know you're trying to win a championship, but I unless I was George Steinbrenner, I could never just go out and just buy everybody and not worry about the future, right? Because if I can't get a good 5 years out of that, the older person that made, I'm not going to say 30 plus, what good is it? Because he's going to ask for a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So your pockets are going to be empty for a while as far as buying other players and filling out the roster, as Freddie said. So I mean that's just my opinion. I don't think that and getting swept.
I don't think it was a failure because Beal was out. I think it was a failure because you can't go that long in the season, not in this league, with just three guys. And if you had all of them at one point or another, we talked about this all the way back in the preseason, you still going to struggle with depth. Um, you know, you need three people to win a championship, but you still got to have the others. And I think, and to your point, Jared, I think that the risky thing that they did, clearly they told us they were all in with this move, and I got that. But you don't have a first round draft pick for 7 years and a regular one for several years to come, and all of these guys are under big time contracts. I don't see that changing. So
Now you have to sell low. Now, if you want to
100%.
trade, you got to sell low.
Right. What choice do you have? Right. That's what you dealt. And I just
So,
wondered. I wonder if they really thought. And I get it. We're all hopeful at the start of every season. Okay, give you that. But did they really think that those three guys, one, were going to be healthy all the time, and two, and as competitive as the West is, that they were going to come,
yeah,
rise to the top. Um, One is to your point, Mace. It's getting swept, but two, first round.
yeah, first round.
First round exit.
I,
You can't.
I still think they can still. I mean, I don't know who's going to take Beal, but they can still get some good supporting people. That could help even too. You
My
know,
concern though is I think Kevin's window is closing.
yes, it is close.
So if you get regular help, you know what I mean, what I call regular help, and there's not enough help to get you some points and doing what you got to do, I don't know. That could be that could be iffy. So
Well,
uh,
I wish him well. He's from the area. We
it's
like
a
him.
business. I mean, he
Yeah.
signed on. He got to carry his part. You know, I'm not trying to pave a way for him. I mean, he was with Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
They were winning championships, and he left to go to Brooklyn because he could put a team on his back, and he hasn't had it since then. The next story, if it's a story, you tell me whether it's a story or not, Jr. The whole, and I don't know what it's going to look like by the time we air, but when you look at the series that has uh, the Clippers and the Mavs in it, uh, the Clippers are winning when Kawhi isn't playing,
Mm-hmm.
losing when he is. So I'm going to ask you: is this whole load management thing with him cause a chemistry problem as far as you're concerned?
Yes, I think so. Uh, it's kind of funny. You don't know what you need until you don't have what you need. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they don't need him, but sometimes players can affect how other people play.
Freddie, are you seeing anything with that? I've always had an issue with load management in general, but I believe the Clippers just look more cohesive when Kawhi's not in that
Mm-hmm.
rotation. What do you see with them when you watch them play?
A massive cluster. And the reason why I say this, and I'm breaking it down from not just with Kawhi not being there or whatever, but let's be real. Kawhi is out tonight. Guess
I don't
what?
know. He might be.
Yeah.
Uh,
He is out. He's out.
yeah, it doesn't
Right.
surprise me if he
Right.
is.
But guess what? He's been out a lot of the time since he's been with the Clippers. If he's healthy, I think they're better with him. But he has not proven to be healthy. He got hurt last year. So the only thing you can go off of is he's hurt.
Record.
So he's not. They're not as a team. They're not good enough with him. With that,
I
with him.
I think there's a certain something that comes with cohesiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I might be reading between the lines. I just think that Paul George is playing a little freer when he's not trying to make sure that Kawhi is
That's
getting
the
in.
ball.
Kawhi he's not running things down defensively like he used to. He just seems he's in the way. And if I'm Ty Lue, I'm like, at least for this round, just I'm taking my shot with the guys that are actually running. That would be me. Last story, and I'll start with you, Freddie, is I think that there are two and I don't want them to take this as a slight, as if they actually watched the show, but two up and coming young teams in OKC and Minnesota. So I want to know from you when you look at those two young squads, um, believable? Do you like what you see? Is it something sustainable in both those organizations
No, it's not
for both or
for both. And the reason
You
why
said
it's not sustainable because once those young guys get older and they start to get more money, you're not going to be able to afford to keep everybody together.
I think
However,
that's long term though, right? I mean, that's not
no, no,
happening tomorrow. I mean, like
right, but each year, the cap goes up. It goes lower, right? And so now, but their salaries go up, increase. So you're gonna lose players. Like for example, Minnesota, they have this kid. I think his name Nas Reed. I think he got a 6 man. I think it was Nas Reed. It's never a good time for He's a very good player, right? Um, I don't know if he's a free agent after this season and whatever, but I don't see how Minnesota can retain him with I don't know how they can retain him with Williams, with Cat, Townsend, and Goldberg and Anthony Johnson. So they're gonna constantly go, but as long as they can keep that core in place, OKC. I think OKC can kind of do it because I think most of their money is tied up in Shai Gildress Alexander, or however you say his name. I think most of their money is tied up in him. And you got Chet Holmgren. He's still on his rookie deal. He's still feeling his way through or whatever. And then you got what is it? Jalen. I forget his last.
There's two of them. Same name. They spell it different. Williams.
Right? Williams. So I think I don't think it's sustainable.
I can't say much about OKC. I haven't watched them a lot this year, but I think that Minnesota has played well this whole year, and I think their young crew. The only thing that they need to do is, as far as I saw from the games I watched very few games this year of them. The young fellas just need to. It looks like they go for their own at times.
What does that mean? Go for their own?
Just it's no looking for open man or whatever. It's just like I'm going to the hoop no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, of course, they all know how to play ball. They all know the fundamentals. But I think that for this not to be just a phenomenon for this year, I think that they'd have to show that progress of knowing what to do.
I think they're both legit, and I'll tell you what I base it on. I looked at where they were at the halfway point in the season, and we talked about it. I think it's to me, it's quite sustainable if you can ride the whole second half of a season like this and still be 1-2. Now, for me, the proof is in the pudding. I'll see how they do in the playoffs. And to me, that doesn't mean a championship. But I see two things. Freddie alluded to part of it. You get a small market, and there are other small market teams that are trying to do some things. But both of these are exceptionally small markets, Minnesota and OKC. I think they both have their alpha player. I think they're both young. I think they will be sustainable. Clearly, Minnesota has already given the reins, over to Ant. And I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the natural leader of that team, and they have youth. They've got other cats. Like, it isn't a one-man show. The Jalen Williams that plays more than the other one, sorry about that, he's good. He's good. He shoots it, and he's winning games. OKC got the coach of the year this year. It takes a special group to work in a small market because it means you're really not concerned about commercial dollars and all that kind of stuff because it ain't going to happen there. I like both of their brands of basketball, and I think we're going to be talking about them for a while. I'm not ready to say it's a changing of the guard because for me right now, where the West is concerned, you still have to knock off Denver, in my opinion. But I think these two young squads could be indicative of some things to come, and I'm glad to see it, and really glad that it's taking place in a smaller market, not in a big city with all this other stuff. So those were kind of the stories within the stories of the playoffs. We'll get a little more into the meat of it once we get through this first round and see who's in and who's out. But as always, before we go, let me see if the guys got something to say. I'm starting with you today, Freddie. You got something to say, buddy?
I'll save it for next week.
Save for next week. I'm gonna hold you to that. JR, how about you, buddy? You got something to say today?
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Really.
Yeah, I was good today. I got nothing either. We're 3 for 3. Too easy. Watch some playoffs this weekend. Have some fun. We will see you guys next week. We're out.